In this video, I'm going to be telling you the power of self-discipline and why it is so essential if you want to get anything achieved in this life. So if you're someone who's currently struggling with overcoming any sort of bad habit, whether that's like cheap dopamine, you're fucking doing drugs, watching porn, drinking, just doing things that aren't productive in improving your life, or if you're someone who's trying to get to the highest version of yourself but struggling to do so, you need to watch this video because self-discipline is going to be the number one key aspect. See, I actually get comments all the time and questions from people in my mentorship program. All these things are like, how do you stay so disciplined and determined and motivated to do all these things? And it all stems from discipline. See, discipline is the concrete. It's the foundation of the house in which everything is built upon. And the funny thing is, the stronger your foundation, the higher you can build and the easier it is to build. So what I mean by that too is like, the more disciplined you are, the more motivation you're going to have. And the more motivation you have, the more disciplined you get. And it's just like this endless cycle that keeps going upward. But you have to build the foundation. You have to get over that initial hump. And that's the biggest thing that I see people struggle with. See, staying disciplined long term and building habits isn't actually that hard. It's just that initial phase of changing your identity to the person who is doing those things. So for me, I've been reading now for about 3 years, doing meditation, journaling. I've been at the gym for like 8. There's so many things that I do, like focus on my health and diet, get 8 hours sleep, that these things are just part of my identity. It's very easy for me to do these basic things, which just make life so much easier. Where it's like, if you're doing all these cheap, artificial dopamine bullshit things, that's only going to be bringing you down and making the actual task you need to do so much harder. So when it comes to me doing my work, it's easy because I'm a disciplined individual in many different realms of life. And when it comes to doing my work, I just do it. And the funny thing is, I feel motivated to do it and excited about it because my mind isn't clouded and fogged by all this other garbage. See, when you start doing those cheap artificial dopamine things like early in the day, it's just going to make your work so much harder. So one of the first things that I do is I actually spend an hour and a half to myself. My current morning routine here in Sweden, and it's October 15th, and the reason I'm going to say that's going to make sense in a second, is I wake up, I read for an hour, then I do an ice bath, and up in northern Sweden, this water must be like 40, 45 degrees right now. It's getting cold. And then I do a sauna for like 20 minutes, and I do some gratitude journaling, I have a coffee, go to the gym, but that initial hour and a half that ends at the sauna is where I get all these very productive things and I stay off my phone the entire time and I just spend time with myself. And some of those tasks are disciplined, but the thing is, it's just become so integrated into my routine and my daily life that I actually love it. And it's one of the most enjoying things I do with my day. Although, reading for an hour isn't always easy, or getting in 45-degree water early in the morning is not easy. These are the things that I've actually come to love because of how great it makes me feel. And that's the thing with discipline, is it's gonna make you feel better and better and better. You're only gonna feel more proud of yourself, more accomplished, more motivated once you start seeing these results. So that's what it all comes down to, is like getting that initial phase. And how do you get through that initial phase? Because that's probably the next question that a lot of you guys are asking. And that's just gonna be by creating a very strong why statement as to the reasons you're gonna be doing this. So, for example, if I wanted to take my morning routine, for example, say I had no morning routine, the first thing I did was I woke up, scrolled on Instagram Reels, watched porn, fucking watched TV shows, all that garbage, and I wanted to switch to my morning routine, which I told you. Well, the best thing you can do is develop a why statement. Like, why am I actually going to give up all this cheap artificial dopamine and replace it with delayed gratification activities that are going to benefit my life in the long run? And for me, that sounds like such a no-brainer. But for some of you, it might be like, oh, well, I don't want to do that. So the thing is, you got to write down a list of like, what is it that you're currently doing and what is that leading you to? How do you feel mentally? What are you actually accomplishing when you're doing these things? What is being taken away from you? And then write down the new habits that you want to integrate and what are those things going to do for you. And if you don't know yet, I mean, a lot of these things are they're kind of obvious. Like, that an ice bath is going to increase your dopamine and it's going to supercharge your day. It's like a cup of coffee. A sauna is going to release like HGH and all these good hormones and all this stuff The little nitty gritty details, yeah, sure, if you want to like do some research and write them all out, that can be powerful, but you kind of know these things. And like, you can break it down into, I mean, I wouldn't actually advise against it. If you're someone who's more technically inclined and you want to know the little nitty gritty details, and take a bunch of time to research what does reading do for your mind? How is it going to actually help you? Write all these things out. But if you're someone who's more just not so nitty gritty detailed, you can just break it down and be like, well, reading is going to make me more knowledgeable. I'm going to be learning someone's entire life's knowledge on one subject in just a couple hundred pages. Okay, well, that's an easy reason to want to read in the morning instead of do some scrolling or whatever other garbage I'm doing. Boom, that's why I'm going to do that, so I can actually advance and achieve the life that I want. The next thing, why am I going to meditate? Well, meditation, it builds your awareness. It allows you to develop more control over your mind, and it allows you to actually break those habits and be conscious of when you're doing them. Okay, what about, well, we went over like ice baths and sauna and all that, but you get the point. The point is that you got to identify all the positive traits that come with this quote unquote sacrifice in your current state, which for me, it's not a sacrifice at all. I love that shit. But if you feel like you have to sacrifice something in doing these, you need to break that association and dissociate with it and associate with the positives that come from these habits and the things that you're going to do with your time, instead of doing the easy, cheap dopamine things that you need to now associate with negatives that are going to be taken away from your life. And that's the best way to get started. And then it just comes down to a little bit of consistency in actually doing those things for a long enough time frame in order to identify with them and integrate them into a lifestyle. There's like this saying that it takes 21 days to form a habit and 90 to form a lifestyle. So the first thing you should do is focus on doing this for 21 days and then focus on doing it for 90. And at that point, you should have been able to integrate this into your mind, especially if you do some journaling, you're reaffirming these things, you write down, oh wow, I had a great morning routine. I really feel how this is improving my mental health. It's increasing my testosterone. Affirmations, along with the actions you're taking, are extremely powerful. So if you're affirmating after you've actually done something and you feel even the slightest bit of improvement, and you affirmate that and you affirm that it is actually helping with those things, that is one of the most powerful things that you can do, and it's really going to help solidify those habits and beliefs into your mind. So I pretty much just gave you a fucking solid blueprint for how to develop discipline, integrate the habits that you want into your life. And this can be with anything. I gave you a morning routine example, but this can be with any single thing that you want. Whether you want to get on NoFap, whether you want to just work more, you can do the same exact framework that I laid out for this morning routine, and how whatever, maybe this is a situation that some of you guys are in, it's going to be understandable for you, but it's going to work for anything. So if you got any value from this video, like and subscribe. I'm going to be teaching you on this channel how to be an all-encompassing individual. And what I mean by that is I'm going to teach you how to make money. I'm going to teach you how to develop your mindset, develop your health and fitness, do everything that you want in order to achieve the best version of yourself and get the life that you want. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, subscribe and check out some of my other videos, and leave a comment down below if you found this valuable and what things you're going to start doing to integrate this into your lifestyle and improve your discipline. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one.